Welcome to our channel. If you do not know who we are Lolly and Pop. We are a baby boomer couple who 4 years ago sold our house in Spokane, Washington, and in the process have been to 44 states. We received our trail names in 2019 when we hiked the Appalachian Trail, starting March 9th in Springer Mountain, Georgia, finishing September 9th on top of Mount Katahdin. When I was in college, there was a book about how to travel Europe on $10 a day. So the question is, can a baby boomer couple do it on $100 stay today? So what is the Camino Santiago? It is a 700-kilometer hike from Saint-Jean-de-Port in France, over the Pyrenees, through Spain, ending up in Santiago de Compostela, and then you can even go on to the coast, which is what we did. In this video, I'll be covering what we did to prepare for our trip and try to answer many of the questions that we received during the adventure. Well, Lolly decided to use the very same pack she did for the Appalachian Trail, her Deuter 45, and I bought a new one, an Osprey Talon 33. So the first question is, what did you wear on the trail? Well, you're looking at it. So we actually wore one set of clothes and packed two other ones for our adventure. Remember before you leave to buy yourself a different type of charger, do your electronics, and we also carried an Anchor battery pack. And don't forget a first aid kit, and make sure you bring something along for blisters. In our case, we used KT tape. For sleeping, we did the very same thing we did in the Appalachian Trail. We used our Sea to Summit bag liners and our 20-degree quilts. And some comfort items, an inflatable pillow, and one of the mostly used items was, yes, an umbrella for both rain and sun. Two very important items is a quick dry towel, and the other is a headlamp, and make sure it has a red light so when you get up at night you do not disturb the other pilgrims. Now on to the issue of money. The very first thing you want to do is contact your credit and debit card companies and tell them that you will be traveling to Europe. That way they do not put a hold onto your account. I highly recommend that you go to your local bank and get a couple $100 euros before you leave. That way you don't have to worry about it once you arrive. Using your ATM while you're on the hike is not a problem at all. There are many ATM machines, but make sure that you use the ones at the banks because they give you the best exchange rate. When you purchase items with your credit card, they'll ask you, do you want to do it in euros or dollars? Always hit euros, that way you get the best rate from your bank. Well, we have our backpacks, we have our money, and our passport. Make sure that your passport does not expire in the next 6 months, or they may not let you into Europe. One of the fun things on the Camino is getting stamps from all the different places you eat and sleep. You can pick this passport up at many places. We got ours at the very beginning at Saint-Jean-de-Port in France. Now on to what you need on your phone. You will need Camino Ninja, Rome to Rio, WhatsApp, Booking.com, and of course the weather, so you know what it's going to be doing tomorrow. You learned real quick, not any one app fits all your needs. We started with Camino Ninja every day and put in where we wanted to go. As you click onto the town, it will then tell you what resources are available, such as albergues, restaurants, and what their prices may be. During the day while we were hiking, we used the app called Far Out. This app has GPS tracking. You can use it in airplane mode, and it will make sure that you stay on the correct trail. The other function I really liked is it gives you the elevation of where you are and what to be expecting ahead. You know what? Things never go according to plan, so if we ever had to take a bus or a taxi or look for a hotel room, we go to Rome to Rio. This app allows you to purchase tickets and reserve hotel rooms when needed. And as we all know, phones don't always work, so we actually had a paper copy called Camino de Santiago Village to Village Guide. And we found the maps to be very helpful in this guide. The first thing to remember is be flexible. We flew into Paris and then planned to take the train down to the beginning of the hike, but guess what happened? Well, we finally found a high-speed train for part of the route, After that, we had to get on the computer and find a bus ticket. Let's say someday you don't want to carry your bag the whole way. What can you do? Well, all along the Camino, there are many services that for $5, they will take your bag for you and send it to your next hotel. And most of these services also run taxis. So if you really get behind or the weather is really too hot to walk, you can take a taxi. Well, after a long day of walking, where do you want to spend the night? Well, the lowest price option are called albergues. They usually have bunk beds and are $10 to $12 a night per person. Then your next choice is called a pension, and what this normally means is that you have your own private room, and those usually were about 40 euros a night. You want to make sure that you bring an extra pair of footwear along, because most albergues make you take your shoes off since you've been walking through dirt all day. After hiking along all day, it was always great to see what might be on the pilgrim menu. So what we did was only plan one day ahead so we could be as flexible as possible. And of course, on the Camino, you have to stay at some hostels. And what does the inside of a hostel look like? Here it is. So this is what 50 euros gets you. Nice double bed, better than a bunk bed. Go outside. This is Vienna, Spain. And several different times we decided to treat ourselves by actually going to hotels. Most of these are 90 to 100 euros a night. Well, after a good night's sleep, it's time for breakfast. And prices were very reasonable for breakfast and for dinners. Pilgrim meals cost anywhere from 10 to 14 euros, and that included a salad, a main course, dessert, and of course, a bottle of wine. At lunchtime, we usually just went to a little bar or restaurant, made sure we took our shoes off, and had a lot of times, just like an American lunch, hamburger and french fries. Pork was a very common item on the Camino, and as you got closer and closer to the ocean, guess what? Seafood started showing up. And as you can see, we really enjoyed our seafood. Well, I hope I answered some of your questions about hiking the Camino. Well, can we do it on $100 a day? Well, yes, we did, so please follow along. Many more videos are to follow.